Okay, excuse me. You're gonna have to excuse my voice. I have had a terrible cold for the last 2 weeks. I'm finally feeling better, but just have some residuals. Thank God it wasn't the flu. But I'm so glad to be back in my creative space again today. I just hope and pray that all of you are staying well and just hanging in there during this this weird time. Today I'm going to do something a little different. I haven't had time to prepare some instructions for an instructional video. So what I'm going to do today instead is I'm going to show you a little comparison of something and also a repair on a product that perhaps you have. You may not, but if you have it, and I think an awful lot of people have these, and it may even adapt to other products that are very similar. You just have to be very careful. Now, what I'm going to show you in terms of a repair could possibly damage the product. It hasn't in my case, and I've done this now a couple of times, and I'm very pleased with the results. But I just give you that caution that, you know, it's on you if you decide to follow this. And but I just offer it out there as a way to save some money if you love this particular scoreboard and score and cut board, but or any score and cut board, and you're finding some trouble with the sliding mechanism. I love WeRMaker's products. They have so many oddball things. I think they must have some of the most fun craft engineers on staff of any group I've ever been around. They are excellent at answering questions, and I get no money from them, by the way. They are excellent at answering questions. They are excellent at helping if you've got an order issue or you're not quite sure what to order. I'm just clearing some space here so I can show you this. They stand by their product is what I can say with a great deal of assurance. And I have had this particular board. In fact, I have two of them. I got this some years ago, and I have just used the dickens out of it, and it just continues to work for me. And this one, this is the older version, and it is no longer being sold. You can still find it sometimes at different places, but it is right now, it is not still being sold. But both of mine began to drag and tear paper rather than actually cutting it. It didn't matter whether I put in a brand new blade or not. It was the slider was not working. It was jamming all the time. And so I actually threw one away. And then I thought, you know what have I got to lose? Because the second one started acting up. So what I did was I took it out, I took it into my kitchen, and you can see, you know, how we always get glue and glitter, and, you know, we know we're not supposed to do stuff on top of this, but we all do it. I'm not any different than anybody else. And so it had gotten some glue and glitter and junk like that stuck in the grooves, and so I took it into the kitchen and I scrubbed the dickens out of it and used some Goo Gone to get rid of some of the stickiest stuff, and dried it very, very well. It's stainless steel, so I didn't have any problem with anything rusting or anything, but I tried to make sure that I got it nice and dry. And I then took a pair of scissors, not my best scissors, but just a pair of scissors that I think these are like the ones you get at right when you're heading out the door, Hobby Lobby. And I ran it along this groove, and I ran it several times, and I did get some peeling. You'll see it right there that came about, but what I got a lot of was bumps that came out. There were all kinds of bumps that I guess are just nicks. In fact, there's one right there. They're nicks caused by the sliding of the blade. Now, these are not this isn't rocket science kind of product, you know what I mean? It's not meant to last for the rest of your natural life. So it is made out of a plastic, and plastic eventually shaves and gets weird, and there's no avoiding that. I mean, unless we could get things with stainless steel stainless steel plates and stuff like that, and then they'd probably be so heavy, none of us could actually stand to use them. So but I did that first, and then I tried to run my blade down again, and it was a little bit better, but not a lot better. It was still sticking a lot. So then what I did was I took off the little blade itself, made sure that it was nice and clean, which this is, and it was happening even if I put in a brand new blade, so I knew it wasn't the blade. Then I took this same pair of cheap scissors, because I didn't want to hurt my good scissors, and I ran it along the inside, and sure enough, I found that there were bumps and little grooves and nicks that no doubt, because this thing will pop out from time to time and snag, that had made this very pitted. And there were even places where it was such that this just wouldn't slide at that point. And some of that would have been glue and other things, but some of it was just that it was just pitted. And it could just be the plastic itself wears down. I don't know. But anyway, so I fixed that, and then look at that. It is just smooth as butter. And I found out that that was what was causing most of my issues. So once I figured that out, I was able to go back to cutting things. I like to cut up file folders and work with them for different things. And so I'll just cut a little strip off here, show you that this thing works. And I was having to like start in the middle and then go back and come forward because it wouldn't capture, but cuts like a jewel. So I quickly ran and got my other one out of the trash and cleaned it the same way, and lo and behold, it's working like a charm. So now I have two perfectly good. In the meantime, though, knowing that I had a lot of crafts coming up, I decided to go ahead and order the next version that's very similar to this one. And I went ahead at the same time and ordered some additional blades for these two that are now still working just lovely. And I ordered extra blades for the other. I found, which everybody did, that during the COVID situation, a lot of suppliers, especially for plastic goods, because I'm sure these come from China or somewhere overseas, and there was a lot of difficulty getting replacements. And the WeRMaker folks were so kind. When I told them that I still needed these desperately back during that time period, they were in the process of making them, getting them made again, and told me that, they would let me know immediately when they were available. And it went on for quite a bit longer than what they said it was going to. So I went back to them and said, any word on when this is going to come out? And I'm not a big buyer. I'm not someone who's spending, tens of thousands of dollars on their products. But I went back and I said, is there any update? And they said, yes, they should be shipping out within, the next few days. And she said, because I was trying to get ready for a show, of course. And she said, if you would like, I'll go ahead and send you one that we've got here that we use, that we set aside whenever we want to do demos and, videos ourselves for different things. So if we can send you one of those, we'd be glad to do it. And I thought that was the sweetest, kindest gesture for a crafter, that they would do that. And I told them no, that they didn't need to do that as long as the other was coming. And I just so appreciated that. And so they have I was already a firmly committed WeRMaker person, but that just really sealed the deal for me, for sticking with them. But thinking that those were dead and knowing that they weren't available, I had reached out to them and made sure that they weren't, they truly weren't available. And they, you know, they confirmed that that in fact was the case. And I asked them what would the next one be, and they said this is it. And so I went ahead and bought one, and I bought a bunch of extra blades to go with it, because that's always the thing that I was burning through first. So I haven't opened this yet, and I thought I would go ahead and just share with you this one. You may already have it and may just be thrilled to death with it. It has pretty good ratings on places like scrapbooks.com and other places, but I've not used this particular one. And so this, I just thought I might just open it up and share it with you while we're here on the tube. So this one, it looks very, very, very similar. It still folds in the middle just like the other did. It does have a slightly different color, it looks like. Maybe not even a slightly different color of the other. Well, we'll open it up and find out. But it's called the Trim and Score, of course, and they all come with the little tool. And I've got a whole bunch of these because I've other things that We Are Memory Keepers sell also. I think, have I been calling it We Are Makers? But it's We Are Memory Keepers. That they sell. They have this little thing in a lot. So looking over here, it looks like I have about 8 or 9 of them. I probably should make that a giveaway at some point. So I'm going to open up this clamshell. Making a big mess. Let's see if that's glued. Nope, it's not. It's just in there. There we go. Oh, sorry for the sniffles, people. Man, this has been a killer. Just awful. Okay. Looks very much like everything else. This one, so in case you can see, this is 66071 and 33356, and then 60071 is what's on the UPC code. So let's see. It's so fun to get one where the lettering is all so bright and clear. My other is really faded from all the years of rubbing things on it. Otherwise, let's see what we have here. It looks to me, let me get this down. It looks to me like it is, the board is different. The other, as you can see, runs down the middle of the board, of the guide. And so this is a bit different. It's on the far edge. It's much more like many of the others that you can buy, like in Hobby Lobby and places like that, Michael's, other kinds of boards. And I do have other kinds of boards. I have some just score boards when I know I've got to do a whole lot of scoring. That's just easier to have just the scoreboard and just work with that. But this is just so lovely when I'm doing both. Okay, now open this. This is a little different. Before it had those folding things, and now it has this little slider to grip it. And I can tell right now that that is an improvement. And I'll show you what I mean. This one, when I open it, it has this. And I don't know why, because it looks like that should be just as good. But this allows this to sink in as you're scoring. Not so much when you're cutting, but when you're scoring. Let's see if the other does. Let's see if this is the same issue on this one. That's the only negative I have about these boards divided in the middle. But let's see. No, it does not. How about that? Big thumbs up on that. That is a real help, because honestly, I got to where I wouldn't use the 5, and in fact, I've seen other videos with other crafters who just wouldn't use the 5 1/4 because it would just slip over and this thing would cave in all the time. So big plus. I like that. Okay, so this little thing now comes out and turns over. So this side, hello, what are you? This side is to flip for trimming. No, this side is for scoring. Butt it up against, and you're measuring out. Then you flip it over if you're going to cut. So that makes sense. And this lays above that. So that is a little bit different. Flip for scoring, okay? I just want to make sure that that's right, because that doesn't seem right. That looks to me, yep, that's right. That is right. And this would be this direction, I'm assuming. I don't mean to be stupid, but evidently I am. Because that's going to go down in there. That's going to cut right through there. No. Maybe I'm not thinking about this correctly. Okay. Let's just make sure that I'm doing something right. Okay, folds out. Cuts precisely. Okay, trimming. Lift the ends. Well, there, I just spilled some water. Lift the ends of the alignment guide to remove from board and flip over. Okay, to be flush with the cutting area. Okay, so now that's flush. Align the paper. Slide the blade to cut the paper, replace the blade by sliding it all the way off the track, blah, 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 blah. For scoring, flip the alignment guide so the raised edge is aligned with the 0 mark. That's the 0 mark right there. So now there's that. Align paper there, and then blah, 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 score. Okay, so there we go. That's how that works. All right. Now, let's just see. Let's see if this blade is as good as the other, okay? So I'm going to flip this over. I'm only going to score right here at this 5 1/4 to be sure that it actually works better. Look at that, look at that. So far, so good. Yes, it didn't flop over. Very good. I'm happy with that. And what about this? Okay, let's try cutting. What do I align it with? Do I align it with 0 to cut it? Let's see. Yep, because see where my blade is? I hope you can see that. Can you see? It's on the far edge and not in the middle. So yes, that actually is going to be very helpful. I will be aligning it with 0 up here and down here. My paper's a little crooked, but that's okay. And then, boy, that's going to take some getting used to. I don't mind saying that that is going to take some getting used to, because I have been used to visualizing it in the middle. Now I'm going to have to visualize it right there. And you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to mark mine right here with something, just so I remind myself when I'm ready to use it that I'm aligning it down here. I'm just going to remind myself. So I think that's going to help me get used to the transition. Let's see. Ooh, I love a fresh cutter. Oh, look at that. Oh, and this is a file folder. Butter, people, butter. This is my second most used kind of paper. This is my mixed media paper. I'm just gonna go here, cut a little strip off. Butter. I don't even hardly have to push down on that. Jeepers creepers. I'm making a mess there. I've just spilled water all over back here, by the way, so I'm gonna have to clean that mess up, and hopefully it didn't land on anything important. Okay, cuts through that paper. Lovely, lovely, no problems. Put this down the side. This is skinnier paper. Oh, let me do this. Let me do this paper. This is super thin paper, and this can also be a challenge with this thing normally, until I fixed my little problem. Fresh out of the box, it shouldn't be, but let's see. Sweet as can be. Sweet as can be. Beautiful. Beautiful edges. No shredding. Beautiful. Okay. Now, I'm going to look at this and see which way is the actual grain of my paper. So, what bends easy is I'm folding with the grain. So the grain is running this way. This way is against the grain, okay? So I'm going to cut that way first, because that's always a problem with cutters, not wanting to cut that and leave a trim, nice edge. Very nice. I hope you can see that. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, let's go with the grain. This should be a piece of cake, given what I've seen so far. Very lovely. Look at that. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, I'm very happy. Now, this is pattern paper that actually has an actual physical pattern on the surface. It's like it's been printed on a, maybe on a, what looks like a watercolor paper. It's not watercolor paper, but it feels like that. Okay, I can hear it. That's normal. Slick as a whistle. Very nice. Other direction. Okay. Very nice. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I got this here. I'm going to go ahead and cut it down to my 5x5, which is what I'm going to be working with for our next little project after we get over being so sick, which is close. And I got to get laundry done and start my taxes. Yuck. So, but that's coming. Okay, this is another kind of product that I cut a lot. And this is actually one of the things we're going to work on our next video. You all, no doubt, get these as well through email. I mean, they put them in the mail, they drop them off on your door, whatever. But I don't ever find a coupon on here that I really care for. So what I've started using them for is to be the basis for cards. Now, with this one, because it's already got a beautiful fold and it's got multiple sides, I think that would just be lovely, just like it is as a card. So let's see how big this puppy is. It's more than 12 inches. I'm going to cut it to 12 inches. I'm going to be real bold and try to cut this. I'm not cutting it in a fell swoop. Let's see how it does. Okay, lovely. Nice, perfect. Okay, then I'm going to cut this at 6 inches. Cutting things this size, I wouldn't normally cut on this board. It's doing a great job, just testing it. But I also have a guillotine cutter, and I also have a heavier duty cutter that I use for cutting a thicker cardstock, just because I don't want to ruin this one, and it's fabulous. This one is just fabulous for doing cards and doing the fronts of books, doing book covers, this, you know, small books, stuff like that. Okay, so now that cut that just great. This is now 6 3/8, okay, by 6. And I'm not going to do anything to this right now because I want to get my project done, and I'll use one of these for my test, and then I'll use the other to show you online. But what we're basically going to do is take this and cover it with paper. I am very likely going to score and turn in some of these, maybe make a pocket, maybe cut an angle. These are just lovely for that. So that'll be coming up soon. And I'll tell you, I know what people always say is, well, what the heck am I going to do with it? For one thing, you can keep it for yourself if you want to. You can do fun things like make it into a mini memory, and make a little box for mini memories where you just, and I mean mini as in MINI, where you, let's say I go to dinner with friends and I know I may not see them again for quite a long time. I might take photos from that and turn them into, just print them out on cardstock and turn them into tags that then I would fill this little book up with the memories, maybe things that we shared, maybe things that, you know, who wasn't able to be there, and, you know, just remember the moment. Then I just put those in a box. I just have a box for memory stuff. And in the memory stuff, it's just for me. Sometimes I enjoy going back, especially if I'm feeling like I'm lonely and I can't get out to see friends, or they're not able to get out. When I'm sitting having a cup of tea sometimes, and I just want some encouragement, I can just go through my little memory book. And I've got a note in it to my son, bless his heart, because he's an only child, that not to spend time going through it. He can, but he can also just toss the box or burn it, and just know that it's filled with good memories and that I took those with me. So I don't like relatives having to hang on to all my memories. There's plenty of their own for them to do. Okay, enough of that. So I think I like this little board. I think I like certain features of it better. This is a little more of a hassle compared to the one that just folds in. Like this one, just it just folds in or out. But I will say that I have found often that this is not particularly stable. So I think, even though it was a bit of a time saver, I think really this is going to be a longer lasting opportunity. And I could see that, suppose I lost this or I broke it, I bet, knowing the people at WeRMakers, I could probably get hold of them and get another one. I don't know that. I won't test them, I promise. But they're just awfully good about that sort of thing. I do like this out here, the blade to be at this end. That's much more like most of the cutters I've got. So it'll take some getting used to on this one, but it's not going to take time. As I use my others, I'll just forget that the other one went down the middle. I think I'm going to use those boards for rough cut paper. So when I make things with my mixed media paper and stuff like that, newspaper, things I use for junk journals, I think I'm going to use those older boards because that'll just save this one. And a lot of that stuff doesn't require more perfection, although perfection is not a word I use, in terms of the cutting size and all of that, because then you cut it with scissors and, all of that. Okay, well, I think that's it for me today, friends. I'm already getting tired. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been able to just get up and do anything, and I've got to edit this video and get it out there. I do want to say thank you so much for those of you who keep returning to my little videos. I appreciate it so very much. I really, honestly, it just puts a smile on my face, and that is a rare thing sometimes in winter and when you have colds and things are going on in life, and it's a blessing to me, and I will never take that for granted, and I just appreciate y'all so much for that. I'm still learning about YouTube. Forgive me if I've got things that seem too long, too short, too whatever. If you ever want to leave a comment and say, I really like that video, but your subscribe section's too long. You can always turn it off, of course, but just, I'd love to have your feedback. That would mean so much to me. And I'll tell you, I was not always giving feedback to all the wonderful people that I watch, because I tend to watch YouTube on my TV, and it's a little harder to pull up the section to do comments. But I've decided, I realize now how important that is to keep creators encouraged. And so now I do make a real effort to just say thank you, to do a thumbs up, because it really means a lot. Not just from a statistic standpoint, but just to keep going and doing it. You're not sure, you're speaking to yourself in your little room, and you're just not sure if you're connecting with people or not. And so knowing that you are connecting really means so, so, so much. At any rate, very soon I'm going to be doing a video. I promised that I was going to do one on craft shows and what I think is going to be the future of craft shows. I will say that the present financial and political climate may change what I have to say a little bit, because we're going through a time of cataclysmic change. And so, but I am still going to venture out there and give you my thoughts, because I've been hanging around in this world now for about 40 some odd years. So I will be doing that. And then if there's any other kind of video that you're interested in, I would so love your feedback. I have probably every known thing in the world to do crafts with. And I've been sticking with paper just because it's easy to show, but I do plan to show soldering, which I love to do as well. Jewelry, not fancy jewelry, just soldering that you can do to make little wind things or garden stakes or things of that nature. I've just, I've got a ton. I've got ideas about all sorts of things. So if I live long enough and healthy enough, then I hope to have a ton of different kinds of videos. But in the meantime, if you have something you would really like to know more about, if I can help in any way, and even if I can't help, if you comment about it, I guarantee you that I will look up who can help you. I don't have any problem with me recommending other people who are doing a great job out there. I think it's extraordinary that we live in this world where we can, in a second, connect with crafters literally all around the world and be able to take advantage of their knowledge and information and viewpoint and culture. And so you just let me know. And if I can't do it myself, or have never, or don't have an interest, I will definitely comment and let you know who I strongly recommend for being able to help you with whatever it is you're trying to work out. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you again. I am stretching these out between 8 and 10 days now, just to give me time to actually get some things prepared. And we'll just see how that goes. And if I get better at doing these videos quicker than I think, then maybe I'll go back to the once per week. But again, thank you. I promise that's the last thank you. Have a great day.